one of the lighting desks we have at NTS. It is of the EOS family. This is a Geo. He is quite old now, maybe 12 years old, but he's still going strong. And they all run the same software, so they're very interchangeable. So what you can do on a desk is you can patch in all of your lights. It'll give you options for the type of the light. If it's a moving light, you can get that specific light with its profile of attributes that you can control. So you don't have to go in and put those all in yourself. You can just say, I want that light, thank you very much. I want to make that channel 1. You can then you have all your channels displayed here. I like to make my channel systems quite logical. So I'll make chunks of lights within a channel range. So I'll start at 1 to 4, say, in the first range, and then I'll say 11 through 14 in the next range, and move up by 10s. I never start at 0, I always start at 1, just because we don't start counting from 0. So yeah, I'll make a chunk of 101, 201, etc., just to make it quite organized and easy to keep track. And then with those, I'll make, within here you can make a group. So for channel 1 through 4, you can make group 1. Channel 11 through 14, make group 11. And then you just have a logical system. You don't have to keep looking at your plan. Hopefully, anything you can do to think less and help yourself out is useful. And that is what the desk is great for. You can also use palettes. So we've got focus palettes for the movement. We've got beam palettes for all the shapes. So edging and like diffusion and things like that is in your beam palettes. And also gobos and image and everything like that is in your beam palettes. And then you have color palettes. For color control you have over your light, you can create color palettes. And then if later you wanted to go through and like change it a little bit, you don't have to go through every cue to change that color. You can just change the color palette and that will apply itself across your cues. So that's quite useful. That is what your palettes are for. It is a way to reference information rather than put hard data within your cues. And then if you do want to change something later, like a movement, or if a director moves a chair over there, you can change that focus palette or preset, and that will just be applied throughout the show. So every time they go to there, that preset will come up, or focus palette will come up in that area instead of that area. And you don't have to go through all your cues and tell it what to do. So you've also got your cue stack. That is where you store all your levels and what your lights are doing, where they're pointing. It'll show all of the labels for your presets in the cues. So you can look at a light and say, that's on the chair, it's in blue, and it's at 50%. You can have many different cue stacks. You can put your cue stacks on the fader pages, which are here. So a lot of people will call these submasters, but these are actually faders. So you can put submasters onto your faders. So submasters are just small controllers of whatever you decide to put on that submaster. It could be intensity, it could be a color, it could be anything, but you put your submaster onto the fader. So you can also put cue lists onto the fader. You can put inhibits, which will mean a light cannot come on if it inhibits down. So if you have a hazer, you'll want to inhibit that so that if you're running cues, that's never going to come up. Presets, I didn't want to talk about presets. So presets can include intensity, focus, beam, and color. We generally just do focus and beam in a preset, and then do color separately, intensity separately, because you don't want to send something to a preset, and then your intensity changes, and yeah, you kind of want control over your intensity. So just where it's pointing and the shape of it, and that would be your preset. But obviously you could also use focus palettes, beam palettes separately if you wanted to. Within this, we also have the color picker here. So this, you can choose any of these colors once you have a light selected, and it will change to that color. You can also choose specific gel colors, and these are desk colors. Some of them are mixed better for different lights than others. A lot of the ETC lights, which are the people that make the lighting desk, all of their colors are mixed really well. But if you get a random branded light, often the colors will be less well calibrated. So I've selected a luster here. And if I change that, all of the levels there will change. So there's 7 chips in a luster. So So it's got red, amber, green, blue, indigo, cyan, and white. And it's taking the information from where I'm clicking and calculating which mixture of those would create that color. So to be red. So red at the moment, red 100% and 0% on everything else. But purple, red 100%, a little bit of amber, some blue and indigo, a little bit of cyan, and some white. So it's like a light lavender. So it's an easy and quick way of choosing different colors. And then you could record that into a color palette and use it over and over again. So the different palettes, so a focus palette, if you have a moving light, it can tilt up and down and left and right within its plane. Wherever you move it on stage, you can then save that position into a focus palette. So that will save the pan and the tilt data into the focus palette. And you can say, if you pointed it on chair downstage right, you could save that position in a focus palette, call it chair downstage right. And then when you select it, it would read as chair downstage right on the channel in your, what we call tombstones. So you're not looking at a number anymore, you're just saying that's in chair downstage right. And then if you, on this desk, if you hold about and label, you can see what number of preset that is if you do need to go in and adjust it. We also have the beam palettes. So these will hold the data for the zoom and the edge of the light and any gobos or kind of anything to do with the image of the light that is held in the beam palette. So yeah, if you want a light that's like a sharp square on the floor, the sharp square bit would be in the beam palette, but the position of it would be in a focus palette. Or you could put that beam palette and that focus palette into a preset and then that's all together as a thing. So if you want your square down on your chair, downstage right, then you can put that all in a preset and you're good to go. And you just press square, downstage right, and it'll just go to the right shape, go to the right position, and your channel will say chair downstage right instead of 57 or whatever.